Hey everyone, it's Ryan here with my reaction to Hell in a Cell 2021, WWE Hell in a Cell 2021. Apologies for not doing the predictions video. I had a very busy weekend. I basically got my COVID vaccination jab, the first one on Thursday. Friday I was literally in and out of sleep all night. Worked the majority of Sunday, so basically didn't have the time to do it. Like basically as soon as I finished that, I got back having a group video call with friends in the build up to it. I'll basically go through my predictions and the matches as they went on. One of the biggest things, which was probably already a sign of how this show was going to go, was they moved Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio for the Universal title off from the pay-per-view and they put it on the SmackDown prior. So yeah, take for that what you will. Like for me, pretty much that was the only match that felt worth watching going into it, or like the biggest selling point at least. Like there may have been a reason for it. I'm not really one of these people to look up every single article to find out every single thing about wrestling. Like, you know, when you see the real reason why blah blah. Anytime I see that, I'm just like, I just ignore it because it just bugs me. Half the time, it's not even true. Like the only thing I could probably assume is because Father's Day is Sunday. Yeah, the same as when this show was on, and they probably wanted to be with their families. So there was 6 matches, if you don't count the pre-show, because basically this was the match was announced like 2 or 3 hours before the show started. Natalya beat Mandy Rose in a singles match. This basically stems from on Raw, where Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are basically taking pictures, or basically having their photo shoot, because basically their thing is, we're strong, we're blonde, and all this stuff. And basically they look in the background and turn to me, they're actually training wrestling, and they get annoyed by this. Like, how dare you practice wrestling for a wrestling show? And they literally go, can you keep it quiet, we're trying to have a photo shoot. Like, you don't need silence for pictures. I get it for videos, but it's for pictures. But anyway, they get in a scuffle over that, and apparently this match gets added last minute. 10 minutes, I didn't even bother watching it, didn't even bother watching the pre-show. Not really worth it, to be honest. We get on to the main card, Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Since they moved the Universal title match, Hell in a Cell, onto SmackDown, they then made this the other Hell in a Cell match. I feel like with this, every match on the card could have easily just been a Hell in a Cell match. I think I would have been very intrigued if they literally said every match was a Hell in a Cell match. Yeah, this one went almost 20 minutes. It was actually a really good match, a really good opener. More of like not like a proving grounds, because Bianca Belair kind of did that with the Rumble and with winning at Mania. Sort of like solidifying her title reign, showing that she's a worthy champion. The downside to this was the whole point of the feud was Bayley was laughing at Bianca for weeks, and that's literally why she got this match. It wasn't because Bayley beat her before, it wasn't because Bayley won some number 1 contenders match to get the title shot, it was basically because she just kept laughing at Bianca, and Bianca was like, right, you and me were facing for the title. It's like, cool. Again, very good, vicious match between them. A lot of sell spots. The ending comes when Bianca is about to do like some senton off the top rope, but basically Bayley rolls out moves out the way or something. So she rolls through, ends up doing a senton onto Bayley onto the ladder. She then sets the ladder, hits the KOD onto the ladder, which looked very impressive. So Bianca Belair retains that way. So basically Bianca Belair essentially gets the last laugh, kind of overcomes the bully that is Bayley. In the next match, for me, probably my personal match of the night, Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. This one went just over 15 minutes, and I had a lot of fun with this one. Again, this one could have easily been in a Hell in a Cell match, because at WrestleMania Backlash, after Cesaro and Reigns had that amazing match, Rollins came out and attacked Cesaro afterwards. Basically put his arm in a chair, smacked it against the ring post, hit him with a couple of curb stomps. So the blood feud's there still, especially after WrestleMania. Seth Rollins not forgiven Cesaro for that. This one is a lot of Seth even jumps Cesaro during his entrance as well. Starts attacking the arm, starts walking him down. So basically, very back and forth. A lot of great moves between them. Cesaro putting a variety of submissions on. Eventually, Cesaro tries to go for Seth Rollins' arm, just attack it a few times, but eventually Rollins rolls up Cesaro for the win. So there's two types of roll-ups, a good one and a bad one. You got the good one here, and the bad one we'll get to later. But yeah, Seth Rollins gets the win over Cesaro, and this one sort of gets to put that sort of like seed of doubt in Cesaro's mind. Like, is he ready to be the top level if he can't, overcome someone as crafty as Seth Rollins? And again, taking advantage of Cesaro's injured arm, as to basically take advantage of that to get the win. The next match is Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax and Reginald ringside. This one is basically Alexa Bliss has essentially been haunting Nia / Shayna / Reginald for a good couple of months. People originally thought it was going to be Charlotte and Alexa. I kind of clocked it was going to be Shayna from the start, because Shayna at one point her legs just stopped working before a tag in the 6-woman tag match. And eventually it came down to Shayna was getting annoyed because Reginald kept interfering in the wrong way. They started having a match, and then pyro started going off, and eventually she confronts Alexa about it, just says that Lily's a stupid doll. Following week, Alexa basically wants Shayna to apologise for it. Shayna basically says, I apologise that you're a stupid doll and that you're not real, blah blah blah. Alexa starts attacking her. Shayna throws out the ring, stomps on Lily twice. Lights start playing up. Shayna has this weird backstage segment where she's being haunted by Lily, essentially. And then we get to this match. For basically someone's character as bizarre as Alexa Bliss, not much, like, it wasn't really anything. It was just a quick, Shayna was beating the crap out of Alexa. Alexa was no-selling it. She was laughing it off. The biggest turning point comes towards the end, where Reginald tries to get involved, but Alexa starts staring at him, and he basically covers his eyes because he's been hypnotized by before. Eventually she catches Nia Jax in her glare, and Nia Jax is just caught in a hypnotizing thing, starts putting her hand up like that, so Nia starts doing it too. Swipes like that, Nia slaps Reginald, they scream at each other. Shayna then applies the Kirifuda clutch on Alexa. Alexa backs her into the corner, or like gets out of it, hits the modified Sister Abigail, that's DDT, then it hits Twisted Bliss for the win. And yeah, that's it. Like, no super bizarre lights going out, no, pyro going off, no Reginald being hypnotized, again, it makes Shayna look even more pathetic. For the fact that Nia Jax was being hypnotized, Shayna then took advantage of that to basically gain an advantage over Alexa, and she still got overpowered by Alexa and lost. Like normally the other times has been Shayna's been distracted by Reginald, and that's why she's lost the matches. This was literally, she could take advantage of Alexa because she was too busy with Nia Jax, and she still lost. And yeah, this was literally crap. This was really, really crap. And yeah, that was just to me, this was one of 3 crap finishes on this show. And conveniently, they're all on one brand. Next match, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. So this one, this was also built on the previous SmackDown. Kevin Owens was going against Commander Aziz. And at one point, Kevin Owens has been thrown to the outside. Sami Zayn's on commentary and basically starts berating Kevin Owens. Kevin's about to get into the ring, but Sami starts yelling at him, so Kevin stops to go to attack him. Sami backs off, and as he gets in the ring, he gets hit with a Nigerian nail, so Aziz wins. And then he gets hit with another one, whilst Zayn's laughing in the distance because he knows he shouldn't get near Aziz and Cruz. Eventually, Kevin Owens goes to Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. I want a match with I want a match with Sami Zayn this Sunday at Hell in a Cell. I want to put an end to this. So yeah, going into this one, Kevin Owens he's basically got an injured throat. So basically, Sammy's trying to take advantage of that. At one point, Sammy does a like over the top rope move, like a tope con hello. I think it tope con hilo. It's a joke from Cortolo podcast. They go tope con hello in their mailbag. But basically, he lands on Kevin Owens and it sort of like injures Kevin Owens' wrist. So Sami Zayn tries to take advantage of that. The ending comes when I think Kevin Owens is trying to go for a move. Sami manages to counter it and it hurts Kevin's wrist. So then he drop kicks him into the bottom rope, which then hurts Kevin's throat. Hits him with a haluva kick for the win. For me, very clever heelish finish because he's attacked the weak spots, which leads to his finisher, leads to the win. And yeah, Kevin Owens again defeated by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn taking advantage of an injured Kevin Owens. Where they go from here afterwards, maybe it was continuing to SummerSlam. I guess we'll find out on SmackDown. The second to last match is Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. This one felt just short of 15 minutes. A lot of this is Charlotte going after Rhea's legs, Rhea trying to take advantage of Charlotte. Again, this one was Charlotte got this match because she didn't lose the triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash, so therefore she deserves another title shot, and Sonya Deville went, yeah, sure. And yeah, like they started trying to one-up each other against Nikki Cross mainly, and like they've been putting tag matches and been falling out and attacking each other that way to set this feud. Yeah, it was a mostly alright match. Again, Charlotte going after Rhea's legs. She puts a figure 4 on before she can bridge into a figure 8. Rhea Ripley rolls out of the ring. And then as they get to the announce table, Rhea grabs the sort of like plasticky thing that covers the top, basically where it's just got like the Hell in a Cell like banner on it essentially, and hits Charlotte with it, and that causes a disqualification. Stupid finish number 2. Yeah, basically in any normal match, the announce table, like almost on a weekly basis, the announce table gets destroyed. No disqualification, slam through the table, ref is fine with it. The second they get hit with a little plasticky thing on the front, oh, DQ, this foreign weapon, blah blah blah, throw the match out. And yeah, again, is Rhea a face or a heel? I have no idea, because like Charlotte's obviously the heel because it's Charlotte Flair. And Rhea's sort of been like this, sometimes she's a good guy, sometimes she's a bad guy. And then they have this thing where it's like, oh, and the winner of this match by disqualification is Charlotte Flair. And then Rhea's going, that's not what people want to hear. And they go, and still you're women's champion, Rhea Ripley. And she's like, yeah, that's what I like to hear. So obviously she's a heel. Yeah, again, really stupid match. Did not like this. But it gets better. The final match, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre in a last chance Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship. Essentially, since Elimination Chamber, Drew and Bobby Lashley have had some form of feud against each other. Going into WrestleMania, obviously Drew has his rematch with Bobby Lashley. MVP gets involved, which is why Bobby Lashley ends up taking advantage of winning. I think this is like Drew's 4th or 3rd title opportunity now. Basically, they arrange a contract where they get basically Drew's like, I'll sign this on one stipulation. I want this in a Hell in a Cell match, despite the fact that it's Hell in a Cell, so obviously it's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. And then Bobby goes, okay, well, if you want that, then this is going to be your last chance. If you lose, as long as I'm champion, you no longer get to compete for the WWE title. Which they agree to. It's a very strong start to this one. Like I said, I was enjoying this one a lot. Bobby and Drew have great chemistry together. It's a very brutal match as well. Very fitting the Hell in a Cell concept. They're using chairs, kendo sticks. You look at Drew's body after the match, and it's disturbing to look at. I think at one point, I guess from hitting with a kendo stick, I think a small portion of Lashley's skin tears or something, because you just see this like bright pinkish spot on him, and it's like ugh. Like MVP's trying to get involved from the outside. He passes his like walking stick through one of the holes, and then Bobby Lashley uses that to take advantage. He grabs a kendo stick and he pokes it through, so then Drew's stuck in place while Bobby beats him up. A couple of tables are set up early in the match, which comes into play near the end. A lot of back and forth, very hard hitting moves on each other. Eventually, at one point, they get the chairs, and I believe at one point Bobby throws the chair at Drew. Drew ducks, and it smacks the referee. And I've never seen that before. It took me by surprise. Basically, the referee's just completely out of it. Drew hits the Future Shock DDT, goes for the pin, but realizes there's no ref. Goes to the second ref outside. You need to get in here right now. So he unlocks the cell, and Drew hits a claymore. Goes for a pin. Ref starts counting. MVP drags the referee out because he's managed to sneak in. And this is where like another clever bit comes in. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm not letting you count that." And as he goes to leave, the other refs outside who have come from the back to take out the other, they've locked up the cell again. So MVP is now stuck inside, and Drew is pissed. And he starts beating up MVP, hits him with a claymore, throws him outside the ring, starts trying to take advantage again. At one point, Lashley puts the Hurt Lock on outside the cell. McIntyre's trying to like back into the cell to break it. It's not working, so basically he falls into one of the previous set of tables. Gets him in the ring, goes to hit a claymore. Lashley ducks. Drew starts like climbing onto the outside of the ring, and then Bobby Lashley hits like a Unagi / chokeslam into the table that was set up on the outside of the ring about 10 minutes ago. Eventually gets him back in the ring, goes for a spear. Drew ducks it, hits a headbutt, hits a Future Shock DDT, going for the claymore. MVP gets back up, grabs his leg. I kind of called it coming when I was watching it with friends because he was sort of in that spot and he sort of knew it was going to come. And then Bobby Lashley rolls up Drew McIntyre for the win. Shit finish number 3. And again, conveniently, all from Raw's side. I'm basically going to call this Hell in a Cell reaction. Raw's ugly colours show again. Yeah, it's a Hell in a Cell match. Not only that, a last chance Hell in a Cell match, so there's some massive stakes on the line, and it's the main event, and it's won by a fucking roll-up. How pathetic is that? That's how you end the show. No wonder Roman decided to move it to Friday, because that's the shitty ending they've gone for. As you can tell, I'm not very happy about this ending. We've had a couple of times, especially with like AEW shows, where it's like, there's a Vince McMahon quote, is people only remember the end of the show. It's kind of come back to bite me in the ass with this one. The reason why the other shows, especially since Roman's heel turn, have ended so well and people have praised WWE's pay-per-views is because it's ended with Roman Reigns, because they know what they're doing with that story. This is how the whole Bobby and Drew WWE title feud potentially ends, with a roll-up. And also, I feel like Drew's going to find it in some contract clause that the whole point of the Hell in a Cell was no outside interference. MVP interfered, therefore technically he broke the contract, so therefore this whole last chance thing is not going to work. He's going to worm his way into another title shot at SummerSlam. It was just crap. The show, like, for me, it was a show of two halves, and I'm going to put this in the description. It's a show of two halves, but not the traditional two halves, because they sort of spread out across the show. Like, two very early on, one in the middle, and then like a bit like one in the middle and then two at the end, which really dampens the show. Like, it had a really strong opening and a really crap ending, and like, no surprise, it's from the Raw side. Like I try to be positive when it comes to WWE, but Raw makes it very, very difficult. Like, apart from the like, it took me a while, but the Arcade Bro stuff I'm absolutely loving between Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. Because Matt Riddle's character as a whole is like, it's what Rob Van Dam was, but taking the unlikable parts and making it really cringeworthy. But when he's teamed with Randy Orton, the straight face, does not care thing, it really works. And yeah, but SmackDown, I can happily watch, because the whole Roman saga going on there is the best thing to watch right now. But yeah, that whole thing, Bobby Lashley and Drew at the end, and like I said, just conveniently, the 3 crap finishes, they're all from Raw's side, and a lot of Raw's show is distraction, disqualification, or roll-up. And we got all 3 in 3 separate matches on this one. And sometimes it's distraction leading to roll-up, which, again, main event, distraction, MVP grabs Drew's leg, leading to roll-up by Bobby Lashley. Yeah, it was crap, really crap. Um, but yeah, like I said, the show was mostly fine, but I think it's just that ending that really does not help it. Like I said, Bianca versus Bailey, really great match. I enjoyed the fact that they made that the Hell in a Cell match. I personally would have picked, like going before the show, I would have picked Seth Rollins versus Cesaro because of the way Seth Rollins brutalized Cesaro. Why not elevate that feud to the point it needs to be in Hell in a Cell? Like that's what Hell in a Cell used to be before it was just the, oh, because the pay-per-view's here now, we've got to have Hell in a Cell matches. But again, all of these matches in a way could have been in Hell in a Cell match. So, well, apart from obviously the pre-show bit. So Bianca Belair and Bailey, yeah, it was set up to be that. Seth Rollins and Cesaro, like I just said, with the whole elevation feud. Alexa and Shayna. Alexa's character is spooky, demonic fiend thing. Hell in a Cell is the perfect place for her, essentially. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, we know how many years that feud's gone on, and it's mostly just been singles matches, so why not put a stipulation in there? And especially with how long it's been going on for, Hell in a Cell can be like the ending point of it. Charlotte and Rhea, again, can also be a proving ground for Rhea. And also, it avoids a really crappy disqualification. Sort of like the Bianca Belair thing, like it solidified her as a good champion. Did not solidify Rhea as a good champion by winning by disqualification, did it? And then Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, again, because it's been going on for so long, Hell in a Cell will be the final point for it. Yeah, like I said, SmackDown side, really enjoyed Bianca Belair and Bailey, really enjoyed Seth Rollins and Cesaro. Sami and Kevin always have great chemistry together. The Raw side, Alexa and Shayna was so bland and boring, and the fact that Shayna now looks even more pathetic. Charlotte and Rhea ending on a really crappy DQ, and then Bobby and Drew, the distraction and the roll-up after 25 minutes of a Hell in a Cell match. With that stipulation as well. Like, the reason I said there's a good roll-up and a bad roll-up, the good roll-up for Seth Rollins and Cesaro, it's Seth Rollins being a technical wrestler and taking advantage of Cesaro being like injured in his arm, and it's just a regular singles match. The bad one for Bobby Lashley being it's a last chance Hell in a Cell match for the WWE title. And after everything they did in the match, for it to end in a roll-up is just so pathetic. It's one of those things where I don't even know if I want to tune into Raw tomorrow. I might just catch the highlights. But actually, luckily, I'll be doing a night shift at work, so I won't have to tune into Raw, and I can catch up on the highlights after work. But I have a feeling I'm not going to enjoy them. Again, a couple of other things. No US title match, no Intercontinental title match. Neither of the 3 tag titles were on the show. So, US title, I'll excuse because Sheamus has a broken nose. IC title, I excuse because Apollo Crews defended it 9 days ago on SmackDown. Women's tag title, you've got Natalya versus Mandy Rose, and you had Tamina and Dana Brooke at ringside. Why not just put the title match on the pre-show? Raw tag titles, you had a battle royal the week, like the Monday before last Monday, so almost 2 weeks ago, where the Viking Raiders won a battle royal to become #1 contenders. There's your match right there for Hell in a Cell. Don't care if it's just a regular tag match. Have it on the show. SmackDown tag titles, I can easily excuse because Roman essentially killed Dom and he just murdered Ray on SmackDown. You know, the whole thing was Ray's one half of the SmackDown tag champions, and the SmackDown before, Roman powerbombed Dom out the ring onto the floor below, so Ray's got a reason to be annoyed at Roman, hence why they have a Hell in a Cell match, because it needs to be in that because of how brutal it's going to be. Yeah, like I said, it was a show of 2 halves. Raw's side, really bad, and it's a very consistent thing with Raw, where 90% of it's bad. The Arcade Bro stuff is good, and the whole MVP Kofi stuff backstage is great. I was kind of expecting, especially after Raw, MVP starts talking to Kofi backstage after Kofi and Xavier just lost a tag match to Arcade Bro. And Kofi's like, look, what do you want? I already told you last week I'm not interested in joining you. And he goes, do you ever think why you lost that match? He goes, oh, what are you going to tell me? Look in the mirror or something? And MVP's like, no, just look to your left. And like Xavier's standing there. He goes, look, you didn't even get pinned. Xavier did, yet you're still a loser. And he's like, look, I get, like, I came, like, the week before and I said how, like, Kofi Mania was a big deal and all that stuff. And, you know, it still is to me. We know Kofi Mania is long dead, but that can easily come back. You just gotta stop holding yourself back on people that aren't worth it. And then, like, he ends it, like, after Kofi goes on, it's like, oh, I do this for my friends and my family. That's why I've been around so long, and so successful in my career. And MVP's like, all right, you're right. I'll see you Sunday. Oh, that's right. You don't have a match on Sunday. Like that. From that, I was just thinking, what if Kofi gets involved in the title match? Like, if Drew lost that way because Kofi got involved, I would have excused the roll-up. But, yeah, it was just, it's just like, there's so much potential on Raw, but they just go with the basic crap option. But anyway, I'm going to try and end it because I'm just going to keep rambling on for another 5 minutes about the same thing. That's my reaction to Hell in a Cell 2021. A show of two halves, not the traditional show of two halves. Raw showing its ugly colours yet again. Thank you for watching this reaction. Oh, I'll tell you what, before I do that, I forgot to tell you what my predictions were. So, I originally went for Drew McIntyre to win, got that wrong. Charlotte Flair to win, technically got that because of DQ. Bianca Belair to retain, got that one. Alexa Bliss to win, got that one. Kevin Owens to win, didn't get that one. And Cesaro to win, didn't get that one either. So I only got 3 out of 6. One of them was by disqualification. No wait, I got 2. I did crap. I got 2 out of 6 and one of them was by disqualification. Ugh. Anyway, that has been my reactions to Hell in a Cell 2021. Like I said, I was enjoying it at first. Then when Raw's side started kicking, it started to get worse. I was hopeful for the main event, and then, like I said, Raw's ugly side kicked in. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.